Hello and welcome to Bærekraft with Kiwa, a podcast that we have started here in the fall of 2023. We are currently at the OTD Energy, which is like the offshore fair here in Stavanger. And I'm so lucky to have Sander and Giulia here with me. So could you please present yourself?
Yes, hi, good afternoon. I'm Sander van Woudenberg. I'm working for Kiwa Technology. It's a specific department where I work as a consultant in gas, in renewable gas, and in risk assessment, as well as flow assurance and flow dynamics.
Really into the deep stuff, right?
Really into the deep stuff.
One of our highly respected experts.
I'm an engineer, so I'm always excited to talk about that.
Oh, that's so cool. We shall hear a lot about your projects. And then Giulia?
I'm also an engineer by training.
Yes.
But now I lead the hydrogen business sector for Kiwa internationally. So I'm, let's say, the lucky one that work a bit as a catalyzer among all different experts that today provide services in the hydrogen space for the Kiwa group.
Cool. So lifting our experts up to a higher level. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so we're going to talk about hydrogen. What is it really? What's hydrogen? Sander.
No, hydrogen is just one of the first elements in the periodic system.
Yeah, I know.
As we know from chemistry back in the days.
Everybody should know it, but it's good to remind people.
Yeah. It's a very light gas. If you compare it to natural gas, it's 10 times lighter.
Yeah.
And it has a different energy content. So if you want to use it for heating your house or anything like that, you will need volumetrically more. And that's a difference with natural gas.
Okay. And is it more sustainable, Giulia, or?
Well, hydrogen is like taking a crucial role when it comes to like as a cross vector, let's say, and also when it comes to, let's say, energy security. In this case, it can be more sustainable based on the way it is produced. So when it is produced by, for example, with an electrolyzer combined with renewable energy, it is definitely much more cleaner.
Yeah.
It basically just use electricity and water to split the water in H2 and O2, so you do not have carbon emission. There are, of course, different way of producing hydrogen, but green is one. Is certainly the cleaner, but you can produce it via, combining also like nuclear power or capturing the CO2 from the hydrogen when it is steam reformed. So it is cleaner than what's so-called grey hydrogen or natural gas.
Yeah, because we hear about, you mentioned now grey hydrogen, but we have the most common thing to think about is the green hydrogen and then the blue hydrogen. What's the difference between those two?
The green hydrogen is indeed produced from renewable electricity via this device that is called electrolyzer, and the blue hydrogen instead is coming actually from gas, reforming the gas, but then capturing the CO2 from the natural gas.
Yeah,
and there is a pink, which in the Nordic is also quite interesting. If we want to speak about color.
Oh, cool!
That is the hydrogen that come from nuclear power. Nuclear power. So combining electrolyzer with
so the
nuclear electricity.
Pink hydrogen. Yeah.
Yes,
cool. Why has hydrogen become so popular in terms so that we have lifted it up as a business sector that we focus on? That's for you, Giulia, to answer.
Well, it came with time, of course. Personally, in Kiwa, we started long time ago, much before this big hype. Actually, I think the real, very tangible project, really with pipes, on the ground. It was 2011. However, in the recent time, it really changed its role. First with the Green Deal, so really to support the decarbonization of those roads that are, let's say, difficult to be electrified. And then also now after with the Repower EU, after the war between Russia and Ukraine, it took even a more prominent role when it comes to energy security and diversification of sources.
Okay, so Sander, take us back to 2011.
Yeah.
What was the start? How did we start working with hydrogen?
Well, Kiwa was basically asked in 2011 to collaboratively with one of the Dutch system operators to start to look into the potential of hydrogen and to look at the advantages of admixing hydrogen to natural gas. That would already give a benefit if you mix up to 20% of hydrogen into your natural gas.
Yeah.
So it was decided together with the DSO to bring up a pilot project where individual houses were going to be heated with this mix of hydrogen and natural gas.
Just a little stop there, because you said DSO. What's that?
That's an abbreviation for a district system operator, and that's sort of the lower pressure operator of a gas grid.
Okay.
So each and every country has a pool of different DSOs, and they serve their specific customers.
Yeah. So we have to clear out those kind of abbreviations.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on.
Yeah. So with that happening in 2011, it started out as a pilot project where hydrogen was being injected in the system, and all the appliances that the clients were using in their house were staying the same. So it was not changing anything, rather than just changing the fuel that they were actually using, a mix of natural gas and hydrogen.
Yeah.
So the main goal of that project was to research: can we actually keep the system as it is right now, or do we need to make specific changes? Is there long-term effects on the wear, for instance, of specific appliances? Do we need to make specific modifications, or can it just stay as it is? So the project lasted for 3 years, and they had a look at all the specific parts of the gas distribution system as well as the appliances to see, okay, what did it actually turn out to be? And the surprise was that the majority of the components are actually fine.
Yeah.
They can work with hydrogen, and that sort of showed to the larger community, okay, this is something that we can do.
It's
and Kiwa was there at the very early start to work together with the DSO to make this happen.
Yeah, and these are long-term projects, 3 to 5 years. It's quite intensive.
Yeah. This is like an example, but from like in these last 10 12 years, we have really broadened our let's say field of application.
Yes.
So today we actually really can cover with our services basically the complete value chain, really from production, testing and certifying or inspecting electrolyzer up to end users, not only residential but industrial application and mobility. We do quite a lot of work in the mobility sector, and as Sander mentioned, very important, the network conversion, so low pressure distribution and high pressure transmission and storage as well.
And we also had a project in the Netherlands connected to residential houses, and we had some issues around infrastructure. Can you talk a little bit about that? What's the problems when it comes to infrastructure?
Well, to be honest, there are not that many issues when you actually look at a gas distribution system and the materials that are used there and the specific components. Of course, you see that legislation and also specifications are a little bit behind on what we actually want to achieve right now. The industrial users, the DSOs, they seem to be ready to actually start to use 100% hydrogen, but it's actually the legislation and also the specifications that lag a little bit behind, and it's not going as rapidly as they actually would have hoped for. And that's where Kiwa steps in and helps DSOs to actually get that information and do that appropriate testing to be sure that they can do it in a secured way, and that they fulfill the requirements that they have.
And I think what Sander mentioned is very important now, like this more the regulatory framework that is like still in the shaping, let's say. But as it's almost usual that the regulations is lagging behind and the industry is going in front. But we have actually quite of some of our experts today actually sitting in this technical committee, like to actually develop and change or develop from almost scratch, let's say, and participation, let's say, to many international and national standards. So I mean, together, of course, with the other colleagues, the industry, we are like doing our best to actually speed up the rollout of the infrastructure.
And it's actually good that Kiwa is able to bring research to the table that they have actually done on these specific topics to substantiate what needs to go into these regulatory standards.
We've also had a project here in Norway with Gasnor. Can you say a few words about that, Sander?
Yeah, absolutely. Gasnor approached us earlier in 2023, and they actually had an interest to assess the feasibility of producing and transporting hydrogen into their existing gas distribution network. It's a network which is fed with gas from an LNG terminal, and the different thing about that specific setup is that the quality of gas actually has a dynamic bandwidth, which means that it changes gas composition with the sort of gas that it's fed with. So that puts a challenge down when you actually want to start admixing, because then also the amount of hydrogen might need to be dynamically influenced. So they were specifically interested in to what extent is our current network in the shape that it's currently in, is it suitable for transporting this mix of hydrogen and natural gas together, and to see, okay, what sort of short list of actions shall we put together if we really want to start doing this.
And how did the project go?
It has been a very interesting project. In this specific area, Gasnor is serving around 170 industrial customers and 800 domestic customers. And the project was phased into different topics with different questions about safety, about operations, about materials, about they have a refueling station. What can they do with those specific areas, and what is the impact? What would be the impact if you actually go with a blend of hydrogen and natural gas? And the outcome of that was basically that some things will change and some things will need some additional attention, like for instance work procedures for field technicians. But the good thing also was that a lot of the information that's currently there is what they can continue to use when they would consider start at mixing hydrogen into the network.
It shows that these kind of studies is quite important when you're actually trying something new into the market. How does is this something that we will continue doing in the future with hydrogen projects?
I think personally, I think that it's gonna be more and more a topic of interest, and it's also the different users of hydrogen. They have specific questions that they don't have an answer for yet, so they will seek advice and assistance from companies who do have experience there. And I think that we will see more and more activity in this specific market over the next couple of years.
And anyway, practical activities and really like what the so-called pilot project are really fundamental to actually innovate and prove what is feasible and safe.
Is there other countries doing the same? So focusing on hydrogen as one of the other countries?
Within Kiwa,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, we are serving in this case DSO in many different countries like the Netherlands, UK, Portugal, France, Italy, Norway, but I mean Belgium, I mean many more actually. As we do for many other different segments along the complete value chain. I mean, I think I'm proud to say this because I think it's one of the key strengths of Kiwa, not only when it comes to testing, but really like the possibility to to work like in a sort of integrated way. We always try to really like integrate and share knowledge among all different experts and colleagues in different countries and in different discipline as well, to really try to provide this extra mile to our clients and like to be able to be part of the complete product or project life cycle. So being part of the initial stage is really key to have like the to reach the operation in a safe and performing manner.
Yeah, and I think this everybody is packing down all their sort of displays here, but it's been such an interesting fair to take part of, and it's been so cool to have you over to really understand, as you say, learn and understand what this means for us in Kiwa and also for our customers. Do you think that hydrogen now is part of the energy mix in the future?
I certainly think it will be part of the solution. I mean, there will be no one solution that will fit all. I think hydrogen will be part of the future energy mix.
I think also it will be sort of a building block in the overall process where different energy carriers, electricity, hydrogen, natural gas, but maybe also other energy carriers will be in that mix to serve specific types of customers to bring the best possible solution.
And green molecules and electrons will actually go together.
So hydrogen is part of our future, together with a lot of other energies. Thank you so much for taking part in the podcast and coming to Norway, sharing your knowledge. It's been a wonderful journey. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.